Hi there Aquarius, thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for May. This month begins with the Sun and also Mars continuing in the part of your horoscope that influences your foundations, your emotions, and anything to do with security, be it physical in terms of where you live, or emotional, is very much under the astral microscope, particularly on the back of the full moon, which occurs on the 4th. That suggests that there may be worldly demands which can crowd in just at a time when you may want to withdraw a little bit and just have more time considering what you really want from life. But if you have been making some changes to where you live, the move of Mercury at the start of this month and joining up with Venus in your 5th solar house suggests that with the people you feel most comfortable with, there could be some kind of gathering and you may want to play host. But Mercury is in opposition to Saturn, your co-ruler, as this month begins. So even if you do that, you'll probably still only want to be with the people who you really feel are utterly sincere and serious. However, there is an angle between the Sun and Pluto in the first week of this month, which can actually be very transformational. So if you do find yourself, even if there is the odd invite to go out and play, if you do find yourself spending a bit more time at home, just mulling things over, don't be surprised if quite a lot of emotions come up from your past. Some of these could be right back into your childhood. And with Pluto there, in such a psychological part of your horoscope, this is the planet of depth. And so it can see all sorts of haunting issues come up into your consciousness. But in its angle with the Sun, it actually can be very good. And you can understand, just get some really telling insights about some of your deepest needs. And that can help you to reshape your position in life in general. Perhaps what is slightly more challenging is the Sun squares up with Jupiter, which is in your opposite sign. It could be that when it comes to one emotional involvement, especially if there's a romantic dimension to it, you could find yourself trying to think the best about it, whether you feel the best or not. There could be a sense of overconfidence, or at least hoping for the best, even if the reality may feel slightly different. So you just need to be aware of that. However, once Venus moves on the 8th, it goes into your 6th solar house. Now here, love and relationships are more practical. It's more about what we do for our partner, what we sacrifice ourselves more. It's not so playful and flirty. However, there is a move also on the 12th of Mars. Now Mars moves out of this rather more reflective and sometimes defensive area into one of the best zones it can possibly occupy. And for the next 6 weeks, it can really see you giving out a fantastically charismatic sexual aura. So if you're single, good things can follow, but perhaps not between Mars and its opposition with Saturn, which occurs in week 3 of this month, which actually could see some kind of limitation around your love life or a friendship, which could really exasperate you. Perhaps it's just because you're attracted to someone who's not in your locality, and that therefore makes a problem. Or perhaps your working structure or the role of children are an issue, or it could be parents. Something might not be working quite as well as you'd like, and that could cause an enormous amount of frustration. Even if you're just trying to be more active, I wouldn't overdo it. I wouldn't go from couch potato status to Olympian status overnight. You need to go up the notches slowly but surely. However, on the 18th, the new moon suggests that any changes you have been making in your home life or your inner domain in terms of your emotional health can be reinforced in a positive way. However, on the 19th, Mercury does start to drag backwards. Now, Mercury in this area going backwards points towards dates made, changed, cancelled, moved around, lots of things that you can't quite control yourself around your love or social situation. But there may be sometimes when you decide to have a last minute change of plan, and that's just the way that Mercury works. However, the Sun does move into Gemini on the 21st, and again ordinarily this would boost your energy, vitality and enthusiasm for life. But it too is checked by Saturn. So it points towards quite a lot of moments this month when things won't necessarily go exactly to plan. And then Venus goes into an opposition with Pluto from the 19th to the 26th. I think here, any issue that has not really been addressed around a relationship can come into the open. And yet you may have to sort of decipher what's for real, because with Venus and Pluto, there can often be something offered which is very, very alluring. So in your case, it could be someone wants to have a date with you, but perhaps they're not truly available, perhaps you're not. There's some kind of catch, and you really need to think carefully before you get caught up in its web of intrigue. However, as the month comes to a close, the Sun then goes into a square with Neptune. And therefore, when it comes to spending money, being very generous, or even having high hopes about your love life, again, a certain amount of caution needs to be taken, because Neptune can skew our perspective. Now, I don't want you to think that this is all negative. It just happens to be one of those months when there are some terrifically powerful oppositions. And oppositions can feel like energies coming in from outside of us as opposed to what's going on inside of us. So it may seem that the role of Saturn could be as someone who's authoritative, who's making your life difficult. It could be a boss, or it could be someone you're attracted to, someone in their family who's not being very helpful, or it could point towards some kind of power tussle. But often what we attract is what's going on inside of ourselves. So just be mindful of that. And Mercury's retrograde just points towards, if there is some kind of creative trend going on in you and you've got a project on the go, yes, you may have to rethink elements of it, but once you do, and it finally goes forwards, you might actually discover that there's been a bigger reason for this that actually was for the best. But a certain amount of patience is going to be important this month, and I think it is going to be around your love and social situation too. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Good luck, and goodbye for now.